All right, guys, so for this video, we're going to go talk about run plays and how they correlate with the motion that we do for our scheme. Now, if you know the motions that we're doing, the main one that we're going to do is the slot receiver from the left-hand side and move him to the right. If you look at the running plays in this formation, inside zone is not a great play to call when we do that motion, okay? The reason why is that we're taking one of our blocking threats from the left, moving him to the right. So now we've got an unbalanced ability to block their defense. We're going to have 3 run blockers to the right and only 1 to the left. So with that particular motion, you want to go ahead and run the power O, and you want to run the 0-1 trap, okay? Those are the 2 that you're going to run. I'm going to kind of show you basically what I mean. You're going to take this player over, and this is where we're going to set up for the one-play bomb when it comes to the PA double post against cover 2 and cover 4. By moving that player over, now you're going to say, okay, they're in their mind are going to say maybe he's going for the bomb play. That way we're going to be able to go ahead and use some run plays off of it. You can run any of these plays without motion. I don't want to make sure that you have to run this every single time like this, but because we run so much motion, we want to make sure that we can run when we do motion to make sure that they respect the run just as much as pass. So in this instance, what you're going to see is that we're going to be able to go underneath and inside. When you see their fronts, if the player is outside the tackle box, he is going to be a free defender for them. They're not going to block that player. So on this type of instance, we're going to make sure that we want to get underneath that player to make sure that we have success up the middle. You don't want to dance around because that guy's going to get untouched or have a pulling guard. So essentially, we're going to have basically 2 of the players on the left not really get too much attention, but we're going to overload the right with this play. So you see here, you're going to be up the middle. You can see that we're going to have some good yards, or at least some holes when it comes to that type of situation. I believe I'm going against 3-4 cover 4, yeah. So, a very popular run defense that's out there, right? So you see basically this is how it would work. You're going to go basically get underneath it, see that we have that ability, kind of see if we can cut it out. But this is really not about how the plays work. It's just really about pairing up run plays with motion. The second pairing with this motion is going to be using the power O play. Power O play, I have most success when I use an agile running back because you can kind of get in and out. Someone like a Barry Sanders, obviously one of the better players in the game. But, anybody else, that rather than a power back where it's kind of stiff, you want somebody that agility equals response time to your stick. What I mean by that is if you have something that's a higher than like a 91, 95 agility, when you try to move them in and out with your left stick, they're going to react quicker. You're going to feel like you got control over him. If something that it's going to be like an 82 agility, but it's got like a 95 trucking, the guys don't maneuver as quickly, and they're not going to respond as quickly to the stick that you're commanding them, because that's what the agility basically reacts to, right? So on the power O, you're going to see that the same thing. You're going to expect that outside linebacker not to get blocked, and you're going to want to get to the right. This is a unique play where you're going to be able to keep it inside or cut it all the way outside depending on the blocking. So again, really all we're trying to teach you here is the pairing of the motion. So the motion that we do the deep bomb with, you want to make sure that you can run 0-1 trap, and you're going to want to run the power O, okay? These are things that I want to make sure that you understand. As far as scheming goes, not really how successful they are in practice mode or whatever the case is, but in order to give a opportunity for your opponent to respect the run, those are the 2 plays you're doing. Now, the next one we're going to do is we're going to do some plays where we're going to move this tight end over to the left-hand side, okay? Now, with that, you're going to have the ability to do the inside zone, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to leave it. It's in the audibles right now, so I'm just, stock audibles, so I'll be able to show it to you. And what that's going to do, it's going to basically be able to go ahead and overload the left side. We have several different plays that we're going to show you with that be as a motion to the left, so that way you can run and pass out of this. And this is kind of like your main, trips tight ends, your, tray flexes, where because an inside zone to the left side, we've got 3 threats. So it's really kind of an overpowered, formation. You can kind of go up the field, kind of read your blocks and have some really success with it, right? So it's really, that motion's really going to help. Now, the second play I like to do with that motion is the 0-1 trap. Okay, so you've got the left presence and you got the inside presence. I would not suggest doing the power O off of that, even though it's kind of a pulling guard type situation. I just feel like when it does that, you kind of give yourself a little bit of a congestion in order to make it work. And so, with the 0-1 trap, now you're kind of looking at it here and saying, I'm moving this guy over. What I tend to get when I see this, if I set this up with inside zone, this player here will tend to overcommit this way, leaving a hole. Okay? You're not going to see that in practice mode, only because of the fact that, we're not going against a user, but you'll see it here. We have that ability to go up the field and get some really good yards. So another motion we do is we take this X receiver motion into the left to get this Y over. We do that nice play that we're able to use the comeback on. I'd use that as a fake motion. You know, if I can run that motion and run the 0-1 trap off of it, I will do so. Make sure that I get some good yards with it or whatever, just to make sure that every time I run that, I'm not trying to run that other play. You can also run the inside zone and do the same thing, motion that X receiver to left. And now, even when he's wide, he definitely seems to give us a little bit of more inside presence when it comes to inside zone, especially if they don't base the line. If they base the line, and say we go ahead and move this over here, let's make sure that we get this all base aligned for the defense. And what you'll see here is, actually, we do inside zone, my bad. So what we'll do is we'll base the line, move this guy over, and you got the inside zone. It still gives you that opportunity to really get to inside first, then the outside. See, I just missed that to be able to get in. But I like to go in and out when they do it base aligned like that because of the way you're going to be able to do it. So it's just because your player is a little bit more wide, it appears that you have that ability to just get a little bit different splits on your play. So I didn't do inside zone, but I'll show it to you one more time. So you do want to mix this in just to make sure that, one, it's actually a different blocking technique that they do, and two, they're not going to be looking for it when we do other plays to make it work. So here we go. This time we're going to go kind of inside with it, and it's really just a grind with this offense, because we want to make sure that we can run inside, to the right, and to the left, and you're going to be able to do so. So that's a motion that we do. The other motion, say we're on the right hash mark, is we do a motion for the cover 3 bomb where we move this player over. And again, you can do this where you hike it right here behind him, and this time you're going to kind of run. Now, I like this for the inside zone too, okay? So I like it with the 0-1 trap, inside zone, basically any of your plays you can do this, right? So just make sure that you do it once in a while where you move this guy in, you hike it behind the Y, just to make sure that you have that ability to make sure that they're not expecting it. This is the one that I would say that you want to do more often than not, because with the cover 3 bomb, what ends up happening is if they want to stop it, they're going to want to have to stop it with their middle linebacker, because there's really no other way to, the guy's got to follow that player down the field or you got him. So if you go ahead and show that this scheme right here that you do it, now you do the inside zone, they can't go ahead and sell out, meaning that they have to worry about the run. So that's why you want to run that motion, just to make sure that people stay honest. And you can run it with inside zone, you can run it with the 0-1 trap, either or. If you just run it and make sure that when you do this motion, hike it there, that they at least have to worry, is the guy handing it off or is not handing off? And that's just part of scheming, just to make sure that you mix it in and out to where when you have the ability and you want to go over the top, that motion doesn't go ahead and show your cards of what you want to do. So that's really what this video was about, really going ahead and doing that. So the last thing I like to show here is this read option play, where I like to go ahead and take this tight end, motion him, and hike it right before he gets to the running back, and then you want to press the A button to spam it in order to get the ball. So you're going to hike it right here. Now you're spamming A, and you're going to see that you're going to have a really nice lead block when it comes to this formation. That's probably my favorite run when it comes to getting an overload. Let me show you an instant replay, basically what it creates. And what it creates is basically when this guy comes over here and you're hiking it, you now have the ability for number 70 to get outside and get up the field, while now the tight end goes ahead and takes his replacement player. Now look how everybody's able to get second level. If we were able to hold our block with 12 here, we would have been able to get off to the races a little bit easier than we did. But you can see here again, this is probably one of my favorite ways of running this, is moving this player over, hiking it at this player, spam A on the hike, and be able to get it. Now, it is a read option. If you have a good quarterback, you can definitely do the same thing where you don't hand it off and you just don't press anything and go to the right. Obviously, that time would have been a bad read, but say that they're pinching their players, you're doing something to where you have that open, you do have that option. It doesn't just have to be the run, but I prefer it as the run, hike it, have that extra ability to get in that spot, and I really feel like it's a play that has overpowered blocking with that motion. So it is something that I want to make sure that you see, especially when we do that motion a lot where we go all the way to the left. You kind of get somebody to be a little asleep. If they think they're going all the way to the left, and now you hike it, you're like, oh, wait, I was waiting for him to go all the way to the left, then I have a good ability to kind of catch them flat-footed as far as their attention span from a user. I mean, obviously, it's not going to do anything to a computer player, but to a user, if they weren't expecting that to happen, then it wouldn't be there. So this is the run video, guys, on how to run it in conjunction with the other motions. Hope that you found it useful. That way you can disguise some of the runs and the pass plays. Appreciate it, guys. We'll come back with another video.